Imagine you have just one single chance in your lifetime to try something you have never tasted before. Just one moment to completely rewrite what your brain perceives as flavor. Today, we are giving you 10 of those mind-blowing opportunities all at once. Most of us live our lives entirely inside a culinary comfort zone, walking down the brightly lit aisles of our local supermarkets and picking up the exact same red apples, yellow bananas, and predictable oranges week after week. But outside of that commercial bubble, tucked away in the deep recesses of the world's most untamed ecosystems, nature has been running a wild flavor laboratory. Let's dive in. 10. The Nipah fruit. Some fruits are impossible to find on a supermarket shelf because their existence is deeply tied to their place of origin. The Nipah fruit is the perfect example. It grows deep within the muddy mangrove forests of Southeast Asia, where resilient Nipah palms literally rise straight out of the brackish, salty water. Nipah fruits erupt in massive, heavy, spherical clusters made up of dozens of individual geometric segments clumped together like a prehistoric mace. To get a taste, you must break apart these dense clusters and crack through an incredibly hard, woody, dark brown shell. Once inside, you are rewarded with a jelly-like, semi-transparent, translucent white pulp. When the fruit is young, this inner pulp strikes a brilliant textural balance. It is soft, yet firm and slightly crunchy. The flavor profile is a lesson in subtlety, delicate, refreshing, and mildly sweet with a sophisticated undertone of fresh, young coconut water. In countries like Thailand and the Philippines, the pulp is used in sweet cold soups and chilled summer beverages, prized by locals for its therapeutic cooling sensation. 9. Feijoa. Externally, the feijoa resembles a humble green plum or an elongated guava with a matte, rough green rind. It originates from the high regions of South America, but it has found a spectacular second home in New Zealand, where it is now cultivated on a massive scale. Cutting a feijoa in half reveals a star-shaped, jelly-like central pulp surrounded by a firmer white flesh. The moment the blade breaches the skin, an intense, intoxicating tropical aroma fills the room. It is a wildly complex scent profile, a simultaneous combination of ripe pineapple, sweet garden strawberry, and a cooling, zesty hint of fresh mint. What makes the feijoa a legendary rarity is its temperamental nature. It begins emitting its volatile essential oils even before it falls from the tree, losing its signature fragrance within just a few days of harvest. Because of this, it rarely reaches distant international markets in fresh form, remaining a mythical flavor experienced mostly through gourmet jams, preserves, and premium boutique beverages. Our 8th spot takes us directly to the harsh, arid savannas of Africa, where the legendary baobab tree, the tree of life, reigns supreme. This massive tree can live for thousands of years, producing a fruit that completely defies every single rule of what a fruit is supposed to be. The baobab fruit is an elongated, heavy pod covered in a hard, velvety, gray-green protective skin. When you crack open this woody outer shell, you won't find any dripping juice or soft pulp. Instead, you are greeted by dry, chalky white segments held together by a network of fibrous red threads. Under the slightest pressure, these segments instantly crumble into a fine, smooth powder. This naturally occurring powder has a bright, sharp, sweet and sour taste that blends notes of tangy citrus, creamy tart yogurt, and deep caramel. Because the baobab grows in arid regions, it matures on the branches for over 6 months until the moisture completely evaporates. Rich in vitamin C, soluble fiber, and essential minerals, this powder is mixed with water or milk to create highly energizing, refreshing health drinks. 7. The pawpaw. For our 7th entry, we venture into the temperate forests and river valleys of North America to uncover a geographical anomaly. Growing wild across 26 states in the United States is the pawpaw, the largest edible fruit native to the North American continent. The pawpaw grows on small trees that look like they belong in an Amazonian rainforest. The fruit itself is a hefty, oblong, yellowish-green, mango-shaped specimen. When you slice open a perfectly ripe pawpaw, you are met with a striking, bright yellow to deep orange flesh that possesses an incredibly rich, custard-like consistency. The flavor is an absolute tropical masquerade. It tastes like a flawless, highly fragrant blend of sweet banana, ripe mango, and a subtle hint of cantaloupe melon. So why isn't it in every grocery store? A ripe pawpaw has a shelf life of mere days, and its thin green skin bruises under the gentlest pressure, making commercial transport virtually impossible. It remains an elusive seasonal treasure that foragers hunt for during a brief window every autumn. A six keppel. Deep within the ancient tropical forests of Java, Indonesia, hides the rare and deeply enigmatic keppel. At a casual glance, it looks unremarkable, producing walnut-sized fruits covered in a coarse, dull, yellowish-brown skin. But behind this simplicity lies a fascinating history and a botanical property that borders on the magical. When you peel back the rough skin, you find a golden orange, firm flesh with a mildly sweet flavor laced with a soft, spicy undertone. But it is the fruit's interaction with the human body that truly elevates it. For centuries, Javanese culture has held that regular consumption of the keppel fruit acts as an organic cosmetic. The unique compounds in the pulp are said to freshen the breath and actually permeate the skin, temporarily altering the body's natural scent so that you sweat the pleasant, spicy aroma of the fruit itself. Because of this, cultivation of the keppel tree was strictly controlled in ancient times, grown exclusively within the private palace gardens of Javanese royal families as a symbol of aristocratic refinement and beauty. 5. Atamoya. The Atamoya is a highly successful, deliberately created hybrid made by cross-pollinating two incredible tropical fruits, the sugar apple and the cherimoya. Today, this remarkable hybrid is carefully cultivated in select tropical microclimates, from Brazil to Australia and South Florida. Visually, the Atamoya looks like a large, heart-shaped object covered in a thick, bumpy green skin made up of soft, overlapping, scale-like segments. Slice through this armored exterior, and you are rewarded with snow-white, dense, custard-like flesh meticulously dotted with large, glossy, dark seeds. The flavor profile of a premium Atamoya is a masterclass in balance, unleashing a deep sweetness that carries distinct notes of rich Madagascar vanilla, sharp fresh pineapple, sweet banana, and a subtle whisper of tropical flowers. It completely eliminates the graininess of the sugar apple while retaining the smooth density of the cherimoya, ensuring there is absolutely no cloying, syrupy oversweetness. 4. Meringue. This spectacular relative of the famous jackfruit thrives deep within the dense tropical rainforests of Southeast Asia, finding its absolute perfection in the Philippines and Malaysia. It is almost never exported to Western nations due to its extreme sensitivity to storage and transport. On the outside, the meringue is a massive, heavy, oval fruit covered entirely in a dense carpet of soft, greenish-yellow spikes. A perfectly ripe meringue can be opened easily with your bare hands. By gently twisting and pulling the spiky rind apart, the fruit splits in two, revealing a central core covered in dozens of pristine, creamy white bulbous segments. The texture is shockingly soft and airy, almost like biting into a tropical cloud. The flavor is a powerhouse of vivid sweetness, bursting with heavy notes of ripe banana, sweet pineapple, warm vanilla, and rich liquid cream. The catch is its fleeting nature. The moment a meringue is opened and exposed to the air, its delicate sugars begin to rapidly oxidize, meaning you must eat it immediately. 3. Blue sausage fruit, botanically known as Decaisnea, but known universally as the blue sausage fruit or dead man's fingers. This plant is native to the high-altitude, misty mountain forests of China, Nepal, and the Himalayas. When autumn arrives and the leaves drop, they reveal long, heavy clusters of cold, metallic, electric blue pods hanging limply from bare branches. The pods are distinctly finger-shaped, slightly curved, and possess a thick, matte blue skin that looks entirely unnatural against the organic tones of the forest. But if you peel back that thick, rubbery blue skin, you will find a completely different world inside. Tucked within the pod is a gelatinous, translucent, glassy pulp that cradles a neat row of flat, black seeds. The texture is soft, juicy, and lightly tangy. The flavor profile is an elegant, surprising contrast to its bizarre exterior. It is delicate, sweet, and clean, offering subtle notes of sweet honeydew melon, soft cucumber, and a creamy touch of vanilla. 2. Cupuaçu. The cupuaçu is a direct relative of the famous cacao tree, but it possesses physical and sensory properties that make it a completely unique tropical wonder. The fruit is an absolute titan, growing as a large, heavy, oblong oval pod that can easily weigh up to 3 kilograms, encased in a thick, woody, chocolate brown skin covered in a fine, velvety fuzz. Cupuaçu fruits develop directly on the massive, sturdy trunks of the trees rather than the branches. When you break through the heavy rind, you enter a realm of pure aroma. The interior is packed with a thick, heavy, milky white pulp that possesses a scent profile so potent and rich that even a single open piece can instantly fill an entire house with a sweet, tropical fragrance. It is a complex bouquet that effortlessly weaves together notes of high-end dark chocolate, ripe acidic pineapple, sweet banana, and passion fruit. The texture of the pulp is intensely creamy and thick, heavily utilized across South America to create premium artisanal ice creams, fresh juices, and rich smoothies. Nishkan Sinchi Napoiting, Black Sapoting. Taking our absolute #1 spot is a fruit that performs the single greatest optical illusion in global agriculture. Imagine picking something that looks exactly like a standard firm green apple and biting into it, only to find your mouth completely coated in a rich, dark, velvet chocolate custard. This is the magical reality of the black sapote, famously known as the chocolate pudding fruit. Native to the tropical volcanic soils of Mexico and Central America, the black sapote is a master of disguise. Throughout its growth cycle, it remains a bright, smooth green orb. As it matures and reaches its peak of perfect ripeness, the green skin begins to soften, wrinkling slightly and turning a deep, olive drab, dark brown color. When you slice open a ripe black sapote, you find a dense, glistening, deep dark brown custard that looks and feels identical to a bowl of rich, slow-cooked chocolate pudding. The flavor is deeply sweet and rich, carrying a distinct, mild chocolate flavor with subtle, complex undertones of sweet dates, molasses, and warm brown sugar, delivering a decadent dessert experience straight from a tree branch with absolutely zero added processed sugars. From nature's own private chocolate pudding tree to the mystical blue sausage fingers hanging in the foggy Himalayan valleys, our planet's flora is a vast map of flavors waiting to be discovered. If you were handed a golden ticket today, which one of these 10 extraordinary, mind-altering fruits would you be brave enough to place on your tongue first? Would you go for the royal perfume of the Keppel, the quick vanishing creaminess of the meringue, or the ultimate chocolate illusion of the black sapote? Let us know your ultimate choice in the comments down below. If you love this deep dive culinary journey, make sure to smash that like button, share this with your fellow foodies, and hit subscribe to join the Flora family for more spectacular countdowns. Until next time, keep your mind open, keep your palate curious, and never stop exploring.